Hello, pile number one, and welcome to your guys' reading. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look into what it is that people have realized about you and how they might be feeling, perceiving, any messages that Spirit have to offer that can bring forward some clarity. For those who are viewing, number one, I just heard people see you as someone who is really hopeful. You restore hope in people when you've brought a brightness into people's lives that they haven't experienced before. There are people who believe you, pile number one. Like, have you been sharing experiences with people that seems unbelievable and you've been worried that people aren't believing you? They do. Especially people who are experienced or who have prior knowledge to the experiences or storylines that you're sharing. They do believe you. You don't have to worry about people not believing in you, because as long as it's happening for you, it's a reality. People don't need to believe you. I feel like some of you guys have been doing shadow work around releasing a habit of placing too much importance on other people's opinions. I think this is something that you guys have already been working on really hard. You've also, what a lot of people have perceived about you in your inner circles is that you've taught people that well-being is a state of mind rather than a supporting circumstance. Yes, circumstances come and, they prove certain things, of course. But you've taught people that discipline over the mind is one of the biggest powers and also one of the most universal solutions that we can probably give ourselves and people around us. Anyway, what is it that people have realized about the viewer of pile number one, please? I just heard a lot of people see, well, at least from what I see in your energy, it looks like the third chakra, the third eye, and I'm also saying the sacral, but very faintly. Scorpion and fish just came out here, so I don't know. I think you're mainly dominant within your third eye and your throat. So perhaps you guys have been a little bit restless with communicating boundaries that need to be spoken about. Perhaps you guys have been avoiding conflicts because you're afraid. Well, it's not that you're afraid. Perhaps there's just a reluctance to wanting to create drama. Perhaps you know that there are people who are emotionally immature compared to where you've developed yourself to be, and you're sensitive to saying the wrong things or jeopardizing things. If you see situations that need to be called out for what it is, don't be afraid to speak out of the reality of what you perceive. You don't need to worry too much about that, but you also need to stick up for yourself. You're fertile with ideas, which is why I think I saw this sacral chakra. You guys' creativity is going to start to drive you. And this is what people have been recognizing, that you don't necessarily have a plan, but you don't need one because you're learning along the way. You're learning, most of all, that no one knows you better than you know yourself. People don't feel like they're as close to you as what they should be, but they're recognizing that's because their intentions held them back from getting close to you. So people are trying to get around you and be more vulnerable and kind of reveal their truest intentions to you with the lamb and the golden egg. People see you as someone who is either very, very beautiful, which we all are in our own ways. I mean, I don't need to say that, but it's either captivating, hypnotic, there's something about you that is otherworldly, like features. Perhaps you have really, I just saw rounded eyes that have a sparkle in them. Perhaps you guys could have a unique eye color, or there's something about your facial features that is very captivating to people outside of you. People hone in on a certain feature that you have and they kind of just like it seems like people zone out, so you could probably experience a lot of people who stare at you as well, and you could get a little bit self-conscious at times, like, do I look funny? I can relate to that feeling sometimes. It's your energy. When you go out in public, there's something about your energy that is magnetizing. This is what people are realizing about you. People also don't want to disrespect you or get into arguments with you or debate, because I can see how far you've come, pile number one. There could have been old versions of yourself that could have been a little bit argumentative. It was a defense mechanism without realizing you didn't need to do that. You just needed to set better boundaries by being more communicative about your needed boundaries, things that people need to respect if they want to stay close with you or want to stay open and vulnerable with you. Because let's be real, no one's going to share the truth of who they are if they don't feel safe in the dynamics. That's the whole point of earning trust, you know. Yeah, so there are things that you've already seen into and have a deep knowing about when it comes to sharing the totality of who you are. You're very filtered right now, and that's what people are realizing, that you've had filtered versions of yourself and connections. People have seen that you have a much deeper reason for being the way that you are, and people see you as very powerful and very pure-hearted. People see you as a valuable asset, as a asset is more metaphoric for, like, there's no other sort of friend or support or person who can do what you do in the ways that you do. There's no one like you. It's kind of like your rare message, and people find rare connection with you because you support parts of them to merge into the third dimension that they wouldn't have felt comfortable or known how to prior to meeting you, being taught by you, being led by you, taking example from you. You are someone who is seen as a very good parent, by the way, if you have children. Even if you don't have children, you could parent the inner wounds or the inner child of individuals around you that you know need help, or that you see are vulnerable, or that you see have given up on themselves. It's the compassion and empathy that you hold. You're very clear sentient, pile number one. And what you need to know is that with the camel here, you have a lot of resources that are going to get you very far in life. And I think you don't see the value of what you've developed within yourself, whereas other people do, because they've never seen examples, had influences, or had role models, you know. And that's probably what I would use to give you a fair idea of how people see you right now, is that you're a role model to a lot of people around you. You're seen as very good at going with the flow of life, and you're seen as someone who is very intelligent, someone who is also very spiritually connected. And spirituality can be interpreted in so many different ways, but at the base and at the root of spirituality, it is well-being. So people see you as someone that they would want to be. They see you in a point of life where they would want to be at. They see you in control of your life. They see you as knowing yourself, and they might not always see your plan or understand what you're doing, and they might interpret it to be restlessness at times, and maybe at times you even feel that way. But you are someone who goes with the flow to collect knowledge, and you're very good at obtaining knowledge to then apply knowledge and learn about how to use it in the best possible way to create the best possible outcomes within your life circumstances and day-to-day lives and blue blouse and whatnot, you know. So yeah, if you've had worries about being a parent, please don't worry about that. You're actually very, very loved, very, very valued, and you're seen as a very good protective provider. You could be a single parent, which is even more reason for me to say that you're doing very well. I know being a single parent isn't hard. It isn't hard. It is hard. It isn't hard to look in and judge on the situations that you have to make hard choices in. So please don't ever feel like as long as you're learning along the way, and you know, you're doing better when you learn better, you'll always find yourself making progress. Always. Because if you're doing new things and introducing new ways to situations that are outstanding or that you deal with, you obviously create different probabilities or you support different probabilities into creation. And that's how we learn how to do something the best. And this is what you've done, and this is the pathway that you've been on, and this is something that you've never given up on. It's a part of your truth, and it's a drive. It's almost like there's something you have a thirst for that you never get enough of. And people see this about you, and it could be something that's not familiar to the mass, you know. So you're introducing new ways of doing something in authentic, more advanced, more evolved, more suitable, and more appropriate ways of application. You're teaching people how to do something. It could very simply be how to life. You're teaching people how to life. Another thing that people have realized about you is that you're very good at seeing where people are going to best fit in workplaces, in projects, in group settings. You encourage the best in people that you see, and you help them to discover this about themselves and grow faith in who they are. You hold very safe spaces for people, but they also see you as someone who is like a guardian. They do. They see you as a guardian because they see you as someone who wards off negativity, toxicity, attacks from people. And they see you as someone who is very private. So they learn how to protect themselves through witnessing you, because you've learned how to protect yourself through many different life challenges. You've had to. And at a lot of points, I would say that you probably haven't had a lot of people to depend on. So you started a unit, you started a family, you started a circle that supports the best that you can into creation, you know. So yeah, like the lamb, sheep follow each other. People see you as like a leader of the flock. So what this is saying is that never think that what you do goes unnoticed, and you might not have always received the appreciation that you deserve, but you will. Your time is coming. And I know it gets so tiring knowing that sometimes, especially when you are taking care of so many different people and seeing them win, and you're kind of at the end of it like, well, I've got nothing to show for all of the efforts that I've put in for other people. Know that your good karma will come back in turn. Nothing goes unnoticed. I promise. It could come back in different ways, and at times where it is most needed. And that's something to consider when feeling heavy with, what have I got? You know, what have I got to show for everything that I've done, and all the support that I've given, and all the things that I've cultivated for other people? You're gonna see, because very soon, over this next 6-month period, you're gonna see people come in to give you back what you deserve. Kind of like any colony. So things like the bee colony, ant colonies, they have a queen, and everything that they do on the outside, even though they're not always in the presence of the queen, always serves the betterment and the production and the safety of the queen. That's what's going on here. You've got people in the background organizing things, structuring things, and doing things to achieve greater abundance, or whatever, greater structure, greater security, greater ability to be able to support you in the best possible way that they know you are worthy of. So please don't underlook yourself, and please try not to fall into the habit of moving into those mindsets of lack, because it leads you into deeper emotional processes like depression. Dolphins process depression, and a lot of them die, I'm pretty sure. When they get depressed, some of them even kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's not common for many animals, that they would go through things like that, you know. So this is saying, you know, you are your best friend, but you're also your worst enemy, because the way you use your relationship with yourself really does affect heavily the outcomes that happen in your life, or the quality of what you can produce in your life. And people have realized that they've not been the best support systems for you. They've seen and realized that you've had to go through a lot alone. that you give really good advice, and you give advice from experience. You don't really waste time saying things that don't need to be said, and you don't set boundaries for no reason. You're not the type of person to really allow emotion to overflow your life, because you are someone who is very self-aware, or at least you practice an active self-awareness. So it's like day-to-day situations. You work to satisfy your own needs, and you work to inspire growth for yourself in your own life, and in turn it inspires people around you, and that's what a lot of people have realized as well. Okay, so a lot of people have realized and differentiated gossip from truths as well. So if you've been worried about people talking about you in the background, they have been, but a lot of their opinions have changed from an old version of you. People see how much you've grown and how far you've come, say from the start of the year to now. Okay, they think you've advanced yourself, or they perceive you to have advanced yourself, and your grace. They see your grace now. Okay. So what is it that people are intimidated about when it comes to my pile number one viewers? Please, guides, guardians, and universe, energies and service of the highest and greatest good. Sorry, I didn't cleanse this deck from the last time I used it, so I'm quickly doing it. Please grant me the ability to articulate your messages and channel your light through these cards for the viewers of pile number one. Thank you so very much. Let's see, what are people intimidated about when it comes to those who are viewing pile number one? People are intimidated by your spirituality and the actions that you've taken to dedicate yourself or commit yourself to personal healing, your happiness, and to building abundance in your life. It's not just for yourself, it's to be shared with other people, is what I just heard with 77 in reverse. And we have synchronicity and surrender. Yeah, you've kind of started to understand and surrender your want to control life, and instead you're allowing life to happen for you, and you're making the best out of life, how it unfolds for you. You're freeing yourself from negativity as well with surrender and all tied up. You're surrendering yourself to the things that you cannot control at the time, and working on all the things that you can. And that's why people are intimidated. They see you making the progress, they see you making the moves, kind of like what I said in the beginning. They see how far you've come from a point of starting something, and they're intimidated about this, because there's a lot of people who doubted your abilities because they didn't know you well enough to be having that sort of judgment or opinion in the first place. You know, it's just a projection of their own belief in their self, their own awareness of themselves onto you, because they know themselves they couldn't do what you're set out to do, and they're watching you actually do it, and it's intimidating them, which is why I think gossip has changed, opinions have changed. People also see, when they spend a time around you for long enough, synchronicities manifest. Say for example, you could have a special relationship with birds, nature, the natural elements like weather. You're very good at predicting things in nature. This could be like the environment outside of you, but also the natural reactions of the inner nature of people outside of you as well, through consequence or effect, impact, projection of yourself. You're very good at shifting other people's perspectives, and this is something that intimidates people as well, because I think you've corrected a lot of other people's misunderstandings through correcting your own in the past. You're surrendering to the truth of yourself and what needs to be done each step along the way. You're very actually quite grounded, or at least you're very much involved in the betterment of life, which means you are dedicated to source. You have a clear connection with source, even if you don't consciously recognize it. Source creates, source builds, source supports, source makes possible, source is everything. Because if it wasn't, think the modernized word, or the equivalent to what I would compare to source, would be existence, divinity. There's no divinity without source, and there's no source without divinity. And I think you're seeing how source has played out in your life, or you have a direct connection and you translate that to people around you. You could be an oracle, you could be a tarot reader, you could be a spiritualist, you could speak words of wisdom, you could be a scribe, you could be a healer, or you could simply just be on your own spiritual journey, wanting to better your own life, to better the life of it for those that you love as well. And this is why people are just overall intimidated by you. They've seen you and watched you overcome a lot of challenges that they never thought that they could. And they've seen you beat all odds up until now. They've also seen you overcome things that they thought would always stop you, you know. So you've defied all odds. You've had to defeat a lot of self-defeating programs, because I saw intuitively like a psychology book from way back in the day when I used to look into abnormal psychology, and it opened to a particular point of a particular sickness, and it said self-defeating programming can be ceased. Yeah. And once you do, you're going to start to see abundance unfold in many different forms. 88, and we're in the 8th year. So this year is going to increasingly grow better from June onwards. If you are viewing this later in the year, it will be the next 6 months ahead of the time period that you're in and viewing this reading. A lot of creativity is going to flood you as well, which is going to inspire you into new directions in life, and you're probably going to find more doors open, so things that you didn't think were possible are going to start to come in, and people have seen this happen for you already, which is also why people are intimidated. They're also regretting things. So there are some people who are regretting what they did to you as family members. Yeah, there are family members in your space that have manifested poor exchanges with you, and I think they are the people who are regretting it. Yeah, they have created an unstable connection with you, and they led that into happening. So that's, yeah, you're gonna know who that is. All right. So, opinion of spirit, of how spirit perceives those who are viewing. Pile number 1, please. How does spirit perceive those who are viewing? Pile number 1. They see you as working really hard to complete everything that has brought chaos, stress, that isn't in harmony. They see you have bought into a lot of things that just weren't good. They see that you've healed your past and you've moved on into a better timeline. You left behind a way of living that was not serving you. They've seen that you've let go, at least, of a lot of different things that were holding you back, and I'll probably say that you've given like a form of forgiveness to everything that has happened in the past, which has brought your consciousness fully present and fully whole, which is why people are seeing you in such an empowerment position, even when you feel like you are not in empowerment. And this is how spirit perceives you. Spirit perceives you to have had to probably forgive a lot of different people who might have not betrayed you but let you down, lied to themselves, which means they were lying to you. You see how people hurt themselves when they've hurt you. Does that make sense? Or you see how people are hurting when they project hurt onto others, and this is how spirit sees you as well. Spirit sees you as a healer and someone who can speak motivational healing into the people around you. You're very good at pointing out the issues that stop people from bringing closure or bringing higher education, higher understandings or enlightenment into situations, and you inspire people to travel past obstacles, blocks, barriers, psychological limitations. You teach people new things and you expand them, and you probably, a lot of you also connect people to Christ consciousness. So you know what I mean when I'm saying all of that. And if you don't, you can look into it. Your intuition will point you into the direction of the information that you and your soul consciousness needs to know. Alrighty then. So I think over the next 30 days, expect a heightened sense of psychic ability as well. It's more like heightened awareness of your psychic abilities, because they're going to be brought into the forefront of your mind, and you're going to know just how to instinctively move. So this is why it's important that you pay attention to yourself rather than what's going on around you. And I think you naturally operate in this way since moving into the alignment of your own spiritual journey. And I think Spirit are commending you for how dedicated and committed you've been and how much effort you've been putting into that as well. And you are going to see the results of your advancement and also your selflessness and giving and graceful nature that you've shown and proven to be, I guess. Anything else? You're gorgeous. That's what I just heard. Anyway, pile number one, those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come a positive service to you and has given you a pretty in-depth look into what's going on in the very present while you're watching this reading. So I have this cup here. It's so beautiful. I have a few things to show everyone over the next few different readings, but this was created by a friend of mine called Eva. She has a shop online where she offers a whole bunch of goodies, knickknacks, and beautiful creations. Down in the description below will be the link to her shop where you can go and look into all of her goodies. And if you want to get this cup, it will be located there. Well, I'll also link the direct link to this cup. It's beautiful. She sent them to me not so long ago and I've been waiting to share them with you guys, but I just wanted to make sure that I had the details before showing you in case anyone wanted it. She does really well. She makes a lot of different art and she's very good at being inspired by her vision. Her creativity is phenomenal and I absolutely appreciate her. She's been a great support in my life and she's also been a great friend of mine. So yeah, if this is something that you guys are interested in or you are interested in looking into any of her great things that she offers there, she's got things like bags, books, cups, and a lot of her cups are really cool. I've got a few to show you guys. I've got a diary and I've got some bags. But with all that being said, pile number one, go down and show her some support if you're interested in looking into that. But with all that being said, until next time, pile number one. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your guys' reading. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look into why it is that that's not what we're looking into. I'll touch on that message shortly. We're going to be looking into how people are viewing you, what they've realized about you, and why they're intimidated by you. Then we're also going to look into the opinion of Spirit. What I was going to say, was that there are people who have realized that they are the problem. They are jealous of you. You are not the problem. There have been a lot of people who have been projecting onto you, which is kind of similar to pile number one, but in a very different way. Like, there's been a lot of people who have been spewing hate at you in the past, and those are the people who have the problem. They've realized that they are the problem. They are envious. They are jealous. They need to do a lot of emotional cleansing and maturing within themselves, and that's what they've realized. They've also realized how much maturity you guys have and have developed yourself through. Like, there's a lot of things that you guys have faced with a lot of grace and a lot of strength and a lot of discipline, is what I just heard. You listen more than you talk at these sorts of people, and that's the best way to handle things, because you make them see themselves. You leave no room for them not to have to confront what they're doing and who they're saying that they are and blah blahs, you know what I mean? So if you've had any worries with people outside of you who have been hateful, it's the issue is them, and they're realizing that. I also think that what people have realized is that it took a change of perspective to shift their understanding dramatically about you. Comparison is a very toxic trait that a lot of people around you use, and I think a lot of people have realized that they have a lot to be jealous of, because there's a lot of people who don't put in the sorts of effort or investments that you have and that you do, and they don't commit as I don't know, as real as you do. I don't know. I don't know, there's a lot of people who are embarrassed and trying to pull away from you right now, but the truth is too confronting. Your results are speaking for you. They recognize how they haven't been acting like adults in a certain situation. There's particular people that you came here thinking about, and these are the people that we're talking about here. You'll know who, pile number 2. Anyway, what if people realize about those who are viewing pile number 2? That you've had to set yourself free by letting go, really, and embracing the truth of who you are. There's a lot of people who have tried to hold you into a certain way of being from your past. I don't know, there's a lot of people who try to define you in certain ways that you've already outgrown and taken control over, disciplined yourself out of, structured, organized, all the hard work that you've put in to outdo a certain way of you used to being. You're in a completely different space and time compared to who you once were, that these people keep holding you to. You don't need to be there anymore. You've already overachieved plenty of different things, and this is what people are realizing. You've already overachieved a definition that people have been trying to hold you to. They see the truth of what you've done, and they see how much you've had to rejuvenate yourself. You've taken a lot of shit things and turned them into positive experiences, I want to say, pile number 2. And you've also gained a lot of intelligence as a result of going through very harsh times, dark places, dark depths. You've had to face a lot of traumas that were probably passed on to you through people from influenced idle childhood. I don't know, I just get the feeling that a lot of people have kind of slept on you and overlooked how important and how crucial and critical you are to a foundation of something. You teach a lot of healing to people outside of you, and you don't even do it intentionally. When people lash out at you, pile number 2, it's a them problem. It's not a you thing. It's not a you thing. I think you've had to take a lot of shit from people. You know, you've cop blame for a lot of things, but I feel like you've learned to break outside of the projection of other people, and you've learned the difference between blame and what you are truly responsible for. You could be the head of like a company, a family, or again like a foundation, a creator behind a foundation of something. And that's why you cop a lot of blame, like you're the face of something, and you've copped a lot of blame for things that other people didn't follow through with, didn't do well. And a lot of people are realizing what they've contributed to your life and your story. They know who they are and the roles that they've played now. There's no mistaking who they are in your life anymore. Perhaps there are people in your life who are trying to claim a lot of the achievements that you had worked yourself toward as well. Or they kind of try to discredit you and your accomplishments. And this is what people are realizing, because once again, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, the results are speaking for itself. What else do they want? And I think this is something that you've had to free yourself from. I think you've also realized that being in flow strengthens your well-being, your psychic understandings, your spirituality, just progress in general in your own life. You know, you've had to do a lot of purification once again of other people's drama. Yes, you've corrected a lot of negativity in your life, and perhaps this was even, some of it was negativity that you created, some of it was negativity that you accepted from other people, and some of it was just negative influences in general that you had to release and cleanse out. And I think you've done this very well. People see you as a stronghold in dark struggles. They really do. People want you on their side when they're struggling, and this is something that they've realized as well, because you're very good at turning bad situations into something more positive than what it could have been, how it could have worked out. You save people from having to go through the worst of the worst, and you do, whether you know this or not. And that's what people have realized, that you've saved them from a lot of suffering, a lot of badness, because you shared your experiences of having to overcome certain badness. And you've changed a lot of minds, a lot of judgments. You defied all odds, you know. That's a message that I think came from the previous reading, but this is again applied for you guys in a completely different way. You've had to learn to navigate your life alone with courage, with boldness. And I think you found that with time that you were your greatest threat. Did you guys come through from pile number 1? Some of you. Okay. You guys have had to learn to build healthy boundaries with your capabilities and your talents. Your self-control is phenomenal at this point in time. You have more self-control over your multi-versions of self than what most other people do around you. You know yourself better than what people know themselves. And that's another scary thing that a lot of people find intimidating about you. You're very good at learning your environment and the people that you have in it. You're very good at psychoanalyzing just through listening and watching. Yeah, you're very good at you're very good at intuiting probability as well, by the way. So, crocodile totem, you're someone who's a sleeping powerhouse, and you only come out when you know you're most effective, most influential, most helpful. You're someone who's very patient, and that's what a lot of people have realized about you as well. You're actually much more powerful than what people know. And just kind of like a crocodile, they're very good at hiding in the waters and then sitting still and patient and then discerning when to best strike. People say you are this is what they've realized. You're very good at striking at the perfect time, and you don't always make yourself known, you know. And then once you're there and a part of something, you know, it happens so quickly and you create results so quickly that it's like a blink and you miss it sort of thing. And then a lot of people are left being like, how did you even do that? That's what people have realized, that you're very good at assessing situations before taking action to know how to take action best. You know yourself and your resources, your skill sets, and also your deficits. And that helps you to discern when to best enact and how. You know, you're very good at avoiding bad situations as well, because once again, you're very good at learning about the situations that you're in, and that's what a lot of people have realized. Some of you give really good financial advice, by the way. Yeah. And this could have been because in your younger years you used money in a way that wasn't normal. Anyway, we'll put it that way. People see you are very good at intuiting the dark, hidden evils, agendas, intentions, projections, all the darkness in other people around you. You're very sensitive to. This is because you're highly intuitive. You pick up on what is hidden within others and the shadows within them. You might have been compared to someone who is like melancholy a lot, or like really depressive, even though you're not. You're really not. It's just that you're very good at aligning with the hidden, subtle energies within other people. So if you've gone and, I don't know, you've been out on a walk, you're happy as, you know, you're content, you're comfortable. Then you walk into a room with a whole bunch of different people, and then you get really irritated, really, really angry for no good reason, and you don't know why. It could be the people who are surrounding you. It's the hidden things that you're picking up on. You have telepathy, pile number 2. At least this is what some people think and have realized about you, that you're very strong, intuitive, that you could have a form of telepathy, that people can't hide the truth from you. Not many people get one over on you, and it intimidates people outside of you. You are very good at accepting the polarities of people, the light and the dark, and you understand how both parts of people are necessary. The polarities within people, you understand that they're necessary. You understand that mistakes lead to what is considered to be successes. I would say that you're people who have suffered a lot and who have been misjudged a lot throughout your life, but it's also protected you. It has. And your loneliness is protecting you. There's not many people who are worth being in your spaces and in your energy, pile number 2, and this is something that you're realizing from what I see here. And it's something that you're accepting, and it's transmuting the feelings of loneliness or separation. And it's bringing more so to the forefront your intellect, your protective energy. You guys could also be awakening to becoming or being, and always have been, a protection mystic. Protection mystics are very good at providing clear energy, tranquil spaces, such strong commitments that it drowns out low vibrations. Your energy, you're so committed and so strong believing in what you do that anything lesser than that vibration is not welcome in your space. And people who come into your space also know that, so they become intimidated because they realize that whatever they're harboring within themselves must be left outside your auric field, and if it is not, it will be seen and it will be exposed. You guys are a mirror, and people know that. You're very good at pointing out the potential of hidden agendas as well, and you probably do it a lot without realizing. You say things that hit people in certain ways where they're like, do you know what I'm actually trying to do here, or are you just saying things that are triggering me? Like, a lot of people get uncomfortable around you, so you'll notice they avoid you. It's because, once again, they can't get one over on you, and people do feel intimidated in your presence when you know the truth better than what they do. You know what I'm saying, pile number 2. So please don't take your space as being empty, as being protected, you know. Both can be true at once, but it's for good reason. So people are intimidated by you because you have many different talents and you're very good at managing your own life in your own ways, and people find that you are the type to contemplate every single possibility that you can. So a lot of people don't really know how to be supportive to you. You might find a lot of people give unsolicited advice that you've already come to awareness of. Yeah, it's because you're on your own soul path right now, learning your own capabilities, and this is what people have realized, which intimidates them. They don't know how to show up for you in the right ways, and they don't know how to be comfortable with vulnerability or being truthful. This is why your space is protected, because there's not a lot of truthful people in the world. I don't know. There's not a lot of people who are on the same sort of spectrum of truth as what you are. Which means most people can't survive in your space in ways that get very, very close to you. Okay, so yeah. People are intimidated of you because you're very good at seeing goodness that can come out of the bad, with the raccoon being here. You're very tactful and you're very resourceful. You're good at making whatever it is that you set your mind to come to be, and that intimidates people outside of you. They see you as really sensitive, and they see you as someone who can cleanse energy very well to transform situations. Once again, you're good at taking what seems insignificant and turning it into something that is effective, that is helpful, and that brings insight and illuminates or highlights clarity, not just for yourself but other people outside of you. You're very good at helping people to see the badness and the good as well, which wards off bad things that could happen later, and that's something that intimidates people around you. You know, you bring up very obvious truths that people overlook, that are actually much more impactful and much more hard-hitting than what people would like to admit or acknowledge. So how is it that Spirit are perceiving those who are viewing pile number 2? What is the opinion here at this very moment, please? From Spirit of those who are viewing pile number 2. The opinion is that you guys might feel a bit guarded, and you might not be very trusting of what's going on around you. You guys could have a lot of uncertainty within yourself while viewing this reading about what it is that I'm saying, or what it is that you're going through, what you've already been accomplishing. The clarity, you can't see it, it's felt. It's existing inside. It's not something that is showing very clearly outside of you right now. You feel these things. Pay attention to what's going on inside your inner nature and follow the patterns of your ways. This is what is proving the truth to you. Yeah, this is how you are interpreting messages from Spirit, and this is what they want you to know. You've been internalizing your feminine energy very well, and this is what they've been highlighting for you, because they want you to become more accepting of yourself rather than controlling and criticizing of yourself. Accept yourself for the way your nature wishes to express itself naturally, and you'll let go of your need to control outcomes or control yourself, or you'll also lessen the attraction of conflict outside of you. There's something here. Your inner criticism attracts conflict of opinion outside of you. So you might find that a lot of the criticism will stop when the criticism of self is brought into peace. Just saying, for those of you who resonate with that, it was a message from Spirit that might be helpful. Okay. So the opinion of Spirit. In the eye of Spirit, how do they see pile number 2? They see you having to work, or having worked outside of like toxic cults, toxic surroundings, controlling people, domineering people, indoctrinated spaces, beliefs, and systems. You have had to do a lot to be able to embrace your own free will and to understand the power of your free will, to become a free thinker. You've had to work outside of what some might call the matrix, if taught and conditioned ways of being. Spirit sees you as someone who is able to grow how you wish to now, and they say that you're safe now. You're safe to experience the will of your soul, in other words. And I don't know why that's cringy to me, but it was. You guys are very, very wise, and you're going to start to find more opportunities to experience the truth of your wisdom, or the impact of your wisdom, or you're going to start to have results show to you why your wisdom is so useful and so valid and so needed in your world around you. There's a lot of people who are in survival, and a lot of people who are going against their better judgments of their inner nature. And I do see in the future you guys are going to organize an understanding that comes through to you intuitively, that will help people to understand themselves better, to understand meditation or self-reflection better, and to understand their passions and how to step into their own fearlessness. You will be seen as like a warrior of light, is what I just heard, and this is part of your destiny. That is the opinion of Spirit here. So please trust in the mystery of how life unfolds for you. The flow of life is going to reveal to you everything it is that you need to know at the time that you need to know it. It's more about you reading between the lines with your intuition and trusting in your intuition. And yeah, denial of who it is that you are is going to produce shame, which will enhance criticism from people outside of you. So you know. Okay, so additional messages from Spirit for those who are viewing. Pile number 2 here. You guys are going to find a new stance of leadership, power, or a new role in your life in the very near future that's going to bring the truth of who you are to the forefront. It's going to require a lot more self-confidence and a lot more self-belief. This is part of your growth process into leadership roles. So right now things might be slow and things might not have been proving to be true from what I've been saying just yet, but that's because you're working on financial discipline, security, stability within yourself. So you're being called to rest and rejuvenate and gain clarity about how you are, who you are, why you are, what is meaningful to you, what is driving you, your passions, the different levels of what truth exists within you right now. And as a result, you'll come to a point of self-acceptance, and that's when you'll start to see the rest of the pathway unfold for you. As soon as you come to true self-acceptance of everything that you are, you're going to come to a karmic completion, which will start your new path of leadership. Those are the messages I have for you today, pile number 2. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come of positive service to you guys, and with all that being said, until next time, bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to you guys' reading. Thank you so much for being here today. I have something to share with you. My friend Eva made this cup. She has a store online where she offers a whole bunch of goodies. Over the next few readings, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the stuff that she offers there. Down in the description below will be the link to this cup and to also her store if you want to go and check out all the greatness that she offers there. She's been a great support in my life, and she's been a good friend to me. And I just wanted to show some support for her and the things that she's doing, the moves that she's making. She also has a YouTube channel, which I can also put down in the description below. She works on amazing things. She is a healer, and she does many, many, many great things in this world. I appreciate her very much. But With that being said, today we're going to be doing a reading based upon how it is that your social circle is seeing you, any messages that has to come forward from spirit. We're also going to be taking a look at what they've realized and why people might be intimidated by you right now. Then we're going to touch on the perspective of spirit at the time of your viewing. So very shortly, I'm just going to quickly tap into energy. A lot of people are doing release work around you. People are starting to feel safe. Not that they haven't in the past, but it's more like the feelings of safety around you right now is heightened for people. I also just heard that you guys could heal the devil. People see you as very sacred. They see that you respect your sacred sexuality as well. So people know that you could be someone who is very beautiful, very handsome, very like there's something about you that seems seductive. But once people get to know you, they know that you're actually very, you know, you're more than just how you look and how you move. You're more than just your sexual energy, and you're more than just surface level things. There's someone around you, or you could have the attention of multiple different people who are quite attracted to you right now and want to come forward and make offers to you, but a lot of them feel like now is not the right time. So if you know you've been single and you've been putting yourself out there more, there are people who are taking interest in you, pile. Number 3, just so you know. And if not, you guys are just coming off very attractive right now to people outside of you. Some of you could have got new clothes, could have had like a mini makeover, could have got your hair done, or will be in the very near future. I don't know, there's something about your look that are standing out to people. People are realizing your inner beauty as well, that you're more than just what's on the surface. There's so much to you. Wise feminine is what I just heard. So whether you are a man or a woman in this lifetime, it doesn't really matter. We're talking about energy, which is fluid. People find your compassion, your kindness, your ability to nurture and understand and listen to be a great gift that you offer people outside of you. Because you are so compassionate and you're listening and you're very understanding, you create a safe space for people to be vulnerable and to be exactly who it is that they are. You show people where it is that they hold themselves back in life and how they sabotage their pathways, their growth, their happiness. You teach people about their habits and their patterns, and you also teach people what it means to break outside of these things to create better outcomes or new situations and possibilities. I think you teach people what it means to get along as well. You guys could be mediators. You guys could find yourself involved in conflicts a lot of the time in your life and having to mediate through these conflicts to bring about resolution for people that you care about equally. Some of you also, you guys could own your own companies, own land, or own businesses, and people are starting to see the true value of what you're offering, if that makes sense. People realize you've had to fight to get to where it is that you are in life, and you've had to fight to overcome a lot of people who have stood in your way. Some of you might be a prophet, just saying. Those of you who know what I'm saying, the true gravity of what I'm saying when I say you're a prophet, you see very far into the future, pile number 3, and you tell people about certain shared world problems, and you help people to become aware of hidden truths, which is a part of your sacred spirituality. You're an old soul. You come back during specific timelines or changes within the world collective. This is initiation, and for those of you who know, we've recently come into and settled or are settling into the age of Aquarius, and I think you come back during world shifts. For those of you who know that already and who are already connected. For those of you who are not, this talks about you are being a strong figure during change. People see you as someone who is like a voice of reason, a powerful figure, a powerful person, a respectful person, or someone who is already respected. People think that you Probably get a lot of love offers. You might be someone who is so attractive that people think that they don't need to give you compliments, or that you do something so well that they don't need to affirm that what you're doing is good, because they assume that you already know that you're the ish, you know. But sometimes it's nice to hear positive feedback, and I think people are realizing that they need to start telling you the truth of your impact and your presence and what you do and what you provide. You guys, it could have been a little bit low in your confidence, but it's not like you're really, it's not even your confidence, it's more like your opinion of self was quite lowly. But there's going to be people who are coming forward over this next 3-month cycle that will affirm to you the true power of your presence, just so you know. So let's go ahead and take a look at what else people have been realizing about my pile number 3 viewers, please. All of those who have come to view pile number 3, that you're a mystic, that you have powerful manifestation powers, or you understand universal laws very well, such as the law of attraction. You're very good at divinating, prophesizing, future predicting. You lead people to freedom as well, and to understand the truth of what needs to be done to understand higher possibilities and to connect to divine guidance. I would say that a lot of people see you as someone who works really hard, and you work to the mutual benefit of everyone. You're not selfish. You want everyone to come up with you. When you win, everyone wins. When anyone else wins in your space, you win. You know, and this is what people are realizing. People are seeing their own inner darkness through being around you. A lot of people believe you should be crowned, pile number 3, and the funny thing is you don't even see that because you're too humble. We have the rabbit and the phoenix. You give people practical plans or pathways to transform the way it is that they apply themselves in their lives. You help them to understand their compulsions, their influences. You help them to understand their fears, and you help them to like transform a lot of excuses that people have in their lives as well, which is probably why you step in as like a mediator, or someone who directs energy, opinions, understandings, conversations, realizations, and activities. Okay. People feel like they can learn a lot from you because you offer a lot of information about practical requirements in life to create effective results. They see you as someone who is very accomplished in your life, in your job, in what you do, in your own self-understandings, and in what it is that you can provide for the world. But people also see you as someone who is very protective. You give I mean, it didn't come out of the deck, but you're giving me Panther vibes, which is, you know, you choose to be peaceful. Part number 3. But you're also very much aware of why you choose to be peaceful. There's a part of you that's very powerful that you don't often allow to come out, and it's actually a protector of yours. Please don't take this in the wrong way when I say this, but you have a dark entity that protects you. Not all dark entities are like that, so take it as a blessing. There are dark entities that are still in service of the highest and greatest good of Source. They're still dedicated and committed to Source, and they're still abiding by Source, you know. So what this is saying is, in bad times, or in times where your safety is like in jeopardy and all that sort of stuff, this entity comes out to protect you. You find yourself have like phenomenal strength, phenomenal ability to use your words. You shut people down. You work as a shield very quickly. So opinions, you're very good at shutting down. Misunderstanding, shutting down. Possible threats of danger physically, you shut down very well. You kind of like banish badness, which was similar to pile number 2 as well. So for those of you who have followed pile 1, 2, and 3, the message that keeps repeating is yours. That's why you're finding it in every pile. But for those of you who are not, yeah, that people, I don't know, people see you as holy, pile number 3, or like divine or sent. We have the bees again. And we have love life come out here. So this is telling me perhaps you've had to do a lot of things recently because a lot of opportunities have been presenting itself to you, but it's not in the area of life that you've really been deeply yearning for, which is your love life. I see here your love life is going to be improving, and it's going to happen while you are focused on seeing to all of your other responsibilities. It's going to creep up on you. So what this is saying is don't do too much, don't have too much distraction right now. Stay focused on what you're working on because love is finding you. And I think you have enough things going on in your life that could be perceived to be as stressful without introducing another element into your life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're going to have offers coming in much more people wanting to be in your space, and much more people giving you acknowledgement for how much efforts you've put into other people's betterment in life as well. So why are people intimidated of those who are viewing pile number 3? People are intimidated by you because they see you've made changes without having things like money. With still being in rough times, you've not denied the truth of your struggles. So people know you didn't get where you are and have what you have easy, that you've had to do a lot of work, you've had to do a lot of discipline, you've had to overcome a lot of debts and get outside of financial constraints that would have held you back in the past. People are seeing how they make a lot of excuses for themselves to be in better positions in life through the reflection of your example, pile number 3. People are also intimidated by you because you're very good at thinking about effective plans and seeing through faults of plans. You're very good at thinking of consequences, seeing loopholes. You'll be very successful in the material world. You're also very good at helping other people learn what it means to heal themselves and to understand the true depth of their emotions. So you're as equally emotionally mature as what you are mature in the 3rd dimension. You help people to surrender what is no longer of positive service to them and that only contributes to negativity, even though they think it's a good thing in their life. So you put things into perspective to people. You also help people to understand where it is that they lie to themselves, and this is very valuable. Very, very valuable. You're going to start to fall back in love with life itself in the very near future, pile number 3. And it's because you're feeling better about being who it is that you are. You coming to an acceptance with yourself helps you to have acceptance for the life that unfolds around you, which means you are able to see the gifts in life that unfolds and flows to you. And it helps you to learn how to use how life is unfolding for you to, like, materialize your ideas, if that makes sense. So you don't necessarily need all the things that people say you need to get started, to create results, to make progress. You'd be a very good businessman, salesman, CEO, manager, team leader. Oh, leadership just came out funny. People are intimidated by you as well because you're not afraid to bring an end to relationships that aren't healthy for anyone involved. You're very good at putting your foot down where it needs to be put down, and when you speak, you are heard. People respect you and they love you very much. You bring elements of sweetness into life that other people don't know how to access or see, and this is why a lot of people appreciate you. You help create freedom around love and teach what healthy love is rather than what toxic love is. And a lot of what is going on in the world is a lot of toxic love. So you point out how to heal that, alchemize it, and how to direct people into better directions and experiences of love. So what is the opinion of Spirit, please? How does Spirit view my pile number 3s at their time of viewing? They see you as someone who has done a lot of work on past life versions of yourself, to let go of past versions of yourself and to reinvent yourself into a better version of who you know yourself to be. You've had to let go of a lot of idealized perceptions of reality, to accept what reality really is. And it's helped you to become self-made because you have no distractions of timelines that don't exist. You've got into the reality, or to the, you know, the baseline of life around you. You've done a lot of energy work as well, learned about yourself, and release yourself from past timelines where you were surrendering your power. You've brought yourself whole, and it's helping you to become more bold, more self-assured, I will say. A self-assurity, knowing that you feeling confident in your ability to do things, say like work alongside of the universe, interpret messages, do healing, focus on the building of your businesses, focus on releasing yourself from influences, people, commitments, places, environments, situations, ideas, misunderstandings. You've learned to surrender yourself to everything, and it's helping you to see what really is. I don't know, you see reality in a completely different way to most people around you, and it shocks people. You teach people that they have the ability to create whatever it is that they desire to, and you connect people to source, to philosophy, to understandings, to releasing karma, and to understanding the higher purposes of spirituality or mysticism. You teach people to open up their third eye and to understand their own visions, own psychic abilities, and own direction or fate, reason, you know. And that's the opinion from spirit here. You have a very divine perception, and your kindness and compassion makes you stand out. So know that all of what you've invested into others around you has been integrated, and everything you offer is very effective, and you're going to see yourself expand from the philosophies that you work through, the understandings it is that you have, and you're going to attract in a lot more abundance. You're going to keep growing through what you know already. It's expanding you. It's welcoming in more opportunities, more happiness, and it's like unknowingly you're becoming a leader or a figure to people who also need a certain example. So yeah, spirits say that you are a very sensitive individual, and to people outside of you as well as to spirit, you're an enigma. You're very elusive. You're someone who it's very good at absorbing information as well, because I keep seeing a sponge soaking up a lot of water. So I don't know, you help to transform a lot of things for people outside of you, and you can't help it. Things happen around you. Spirit is very active around you, and they prove themselves to be there to people, especially like non-believers outside of you. Pile number 3. Those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by. I hope this has come in positive service, and with all that being said, until next time, bye guys.